Hey guys, it's Deepak Shukla here from Pearl Lemon Properties. Please do click the link in the description below if you want to find out how to get a mortgage for less than £100 per month with an instant cash flow of more potentially than £400 per month. Today we're going to be continuing the insider's guide on how to make amazing property investments, and today we're going to be talking about ultimately something that's super important from your investment perspective. Okay, it's something that I think fundamentally does get forgotten, and it's about factoring your time and your money, or rather, let's go back, factoring your time as having an actual money equivalent. Okay, so in the first training, if you want to go and have a look at that, we talked about how to do effective local market research. Okay, and with that in mind, what's really important is to consider the kind of investor that you want to be. Okay, because depending upon whether you want to be incredibly hands-on, then it does mean you've got time to build up your own property portfolio and potentially become a full-time investor. Okay, as you begin to make more and more property purchases and your cash flow begins to increase, then you have potentially the room or the time in your life to continue to focus on this space. Okay, now if you are, for example, like myself, I make my personal property investments, but then I've also got Pearl Lemon Properties, the business, to actually run, right? And they are, while similar, not exactly the same thing, okay? Which is why for me, I've got my father involved, okay? So I'm paying him in his spare time £500 per month to manage ultimately several properties that I've got, okay? Now, the reason that I pay my father, even though he sometimes refuses to accept the money, is because I want to have him take the role seriously. And ultimately, here's the thing, okay? He loves it, which is the other thing. Understand where your time is most valuably spent. If you're the person to be making, for example, the research and to be looking and doing a walk around of the local area, you should absolutely do that. But please do factor your time in as having an actual monetary value. Okay, so if you approximately spend 10 hours per week, then base your actual time investment upon a salary, right? Let's say it's minimum wage, £10 per hour, I think in London it is. So consider that you need to generate an extra, for example, £100 a week, which is £400 a month, more or less, of income to make this whole process worthwhile if you're spending 10 hours a week. And that number will potentially increase as you have not only the new research you're doing, but the properties that you're managing. So please do, when you're performing your calculations, and again, they don't need to be, we'll go on to talk about how to consider building your financial stack or your financial model, but as long as you can equate and there's enough profit to account for your time, then you should definitely invest that time. It really depends upon the approach you're taking, but in either event, you need to calculate ultimately the time needed and the monetary value that time carries to understand how best to spend that time. Okay, so really do think about that when you're putting together your financial calculations. Your time does come with the cost, and factor that cost into your investment model. So that's why for me, having my father involved, who loves this, who's retired, who enjoys sitting down and spending time to work through the properties, is for me a great investment. So think about how you're going to be investing your time, the monetary value that carries, and build that into your financial investment models as you continue to make purchases on your property journey. Catch you in the next training, and again, please do check the link in the description below if you want to find out how to get a mortgage for as little as £100 per month and earn up to £400 plus per month in instant cash flow. Thanks guys, catch you in the next training.